The Secret of Life, inspired by the teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy. The invisible ingredient, the question of life's deepest secret, has captivated humanity for centuries. Philosophers, mystics, scientists, and spiritual teachers have all attempted to define the hidden force that shapes our experiences, determines our success, and gives meaning to our existence. Among those who explored this mystery in a practical and accessible way was Dr. Joseph Murphy, whose teachings revolved around a powerful yet often overlooked principle: the unseen force within us, sometimes called the invisible ingredient. This invisible ingredient is not something external or mystical in the sense of being unreachable. Instead, it lies within the human mind, particularly in the relationship between the conscious and subconscious. According to Murphy's philosophy, the secret of life is rooted in understanding how thought, belief, and feeling shape reality. Once this principle is understood and applied, individuals can transform their lives in profound ways. The power within. Understanding the invisible ingredient at the core of Murphy's teachings is the idea that the human mind operates on two levels: the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious mind is the part we actively use to think, reason, and make decisions. The subconscious mind, however, is far more powerful. It stores beliefs, habits, emotions, and patterns, and it operates continuously, influencing behavior and outcomes. The invisible ingredient is the interaction between these two layers of mind, specifically the impressions we place upon the subconscious. Whatever the conscious mind consistently believes and feels eventually becomes accepted by the subconscious. Once accepted, the subconscious works tirelessly to bring those beliefs into reality. This means that life is not simply something that happens to us. Rather, it is something we participate in creating. Our inner world shapes our outer experience. Thought has creative force. One of the central ideas in Murphy's philosophy is that thought is creative. Every thought carries energy, and repeated thoughts become beliefs. These beliefs are then translated into actions, reactions, and circumstances. If a person constantly thinks, "I am not good enough," accepted by the subconscious begins to manifest in behavior: hesitation, fear, missed opportunities, and eventually in life outcomes. On the other hand, if a person repeatedly affirms, "I am capable, confident, and successful," and begins aligning actions and opportunities accordingly, the invisible ingredient, therefore, is not merely thought itself, but belief infused with emotion. Thoughts combined with strong feeling penetrate the subconscious more deeply and produce more powerful results. The role of belief. Belief is the bridge between thought and reality. It is not enough to think positively once or twice. Belief requires repetition, conviction, and emotional engagement. Murphy emphasized that the subconscious does not argue or analyze it. Accept what it is given. Whether a belief is true or false does not matter to the subconscious. What matters is the degree of conviction behind it. This explains why two people with similar abilities can have vastly different outcomes. One believes in their potential, while the other doubts themselves. The difference lies not in external circumstances, but in internal programming. The invisible ingredient, then, is the deep-seated belief system that governs behavior and perception, the law of correspondence. Another key principle related to the invisible ingredient is the idea that the outer world reflects the inner world. This is sometimes called the law of correspondence. As within, so without. If a person harbors fear, insecurity, and negativity internally, their external life tends to reflect struggle, conflict, and limitation. Conversely, if someone cultivates confidence, gratitude, and optimism, their external experiences often mirror those qualities. This is not to suggest that life becomes perfect or free of challenges. Rather, it means that one's response to challenges and the ability to overcome them is shaped by inner belief. The invisible ingredient acts as a blueprint. It determines how we interpret events, how we respond to them, and ultimately what results we create. The subconscious mind as a servant. Murphy often described the subconscious mind as a faithful servant. It does not judge or question. It simply carries out the instructions it receives from the conscious mind. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you're unlucky, the subconscious accepts this and begins to filter experiences accordingly. You may overlook opportunities, focus on setbacks, and reinforce the belief of bad luck. However, if you consciously choose empowering thoughts such as I attract opportunities, or I am guided toward success, the subconscious begins working in alignment with those ideas. The invisible ingredient is the instructions we give to our subconscious mind, whether positive or negative. These instructions shape our reality. The importance of repetition. One of the most practical aspects of Murphy's teachings is the emphasis on repetition. The subconscious mind learns through repeated exposure. Affirmations, visualization, and consistent thought patterns gradually imprint new beliefs. Over time, these beliefs replace old, limiting ones. For example, someone who has struggled with self-doubt for years cannot expect instant transformation. However, by consistently affirming confidence and visualizing success, they begin to reprogram their subconscious. The invisible ingredient becomes stronger with repetition. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, it grows over time and eventually produces visible results. Visualization and imagination. Murphy placed great importance on imagination as a tool for shaping reality. The subconscious mind responds strongly to images and emotions. When a person vividly imagines a desired outcome feeling, the emotions associated with it, the subconscious interprets it as real. This creates a powerful impression that influences behavior and circumstances. Visualization is not mere daydreaming. It is a deliberate process of creating mental images that align with desired outcomes. When combined with belief and emotion, it becomes a powerful method of activating the invisible ingredient, overcoming fear and negative conditioning. One of the biggest obstacles to harnessing the invisible ingredient is fear. Fear often stems from past experiences, societal conditioning, or limiting beliefs formed during childhood. These fears become embedded in the subconscious, influencing decisions and actions without conscious awareness. Murphy taught that by becoming aware of these patterns and replacing them with positive beliefs, individuals can break free from negative conditioning. This process requires patience and persistence. It involves questioning old beliefs, consciously choosing new ones, and reinforcing them through repetition and emotion. The invisible ingredient is neutral. It can work for or against us, depending on how we use it. Faith and trust in the process. Faith plays a crucial role in Murphy's teachings. Faith is not blind belief, but a confident expectation that what we impress upon the subconscious will manifest. When a person truly believes in a desired outcome, they act with confidence and persistence. This alignment between belief and action accelerates results. Doubt, on the other hand, weakens the process. If a person affirms success but internally expects failure, the subconscious receives mixed signals. The invisible ingredient thrives on clarity and consistency. Faith ensures that the message sent to the subconscious is strong and unwavering. Gratitude as a transformative force. Gratitude is another powerful aspect of the invisible ingredient. When a person feels grateful, they shift their focus from lack to abundance. This shift influences both mindset and behavior. Gratitude creates positive emotional states, which reinforce empowering beliefs. Murphy emphasized that feeling thankful for desired outcomes, even before they manifest, strengthens the impression on the subconscious. Gratitude acts as a catalyst, accelerating the process of manifestation and enhancing overall well-being. The connection between mind and body. The invisible ingredient also extends to physical health. Murphy believes that the mind has a direct influence on the body. Stress, fear, and negative emotions can contribute to physical ailments, while positive thoughts and emotions can promote healing. This does not mean that medical treatment is unnecessary, but rather that mental and emotional states play a significant role in overall health. By cultivating positive beliefs and reducing stress, individuals can support their physical well-being, taking responsibility for one's life. A key message in Murphy's teachings is personal responsibility. While external factors do influence life, the internal response to those factors is within our control. Recognizing the power of the invisible ingredient means acknowledging that we are not passive victims of circumstance. Instead, we are active participants in shaping our lives through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. This realization can be both empowering and challenging. It requires letting go of blame and taking ownership of one's inner world. Practical application in daily life. Understanding the invisible ingredient is only the first step. Applying it consistently is what leads to transformation. Practical steps include monitoring thoughts and replacing negative patterns, using affirmations to reinforce positive beliefs, visualizing desired outcomes with emotion, practicing gratitude daily, maintaining faith in the process. These practices, when applied consistently, gradually reshape the subconscious mind. The long-term impact. The effects of working with the invisible ingredient are not always immediate. However, over time, the changes become noticeable. People often experience increased confidence, improved relationships, greater opportunities, and a deeper sense of purpose. The transformation is not just external but internal. Individuals begin to see themselves differently, which in turn changes how they interact with the world. Conclusion. The true secret of life. The secret of life, as taught by Dr. Joseph Murphy, is not hidden in distant places or reserved for a select few. It lies within each individual, in the form of the invisible subconscious mind, is shaped by thought, belief, and emotion. By understanding and consciously directing this inner force, individuals can transform their lives in meaningful ways. The process requires awareness, discipline, and faith, but the potential rewards are immense. Ultimately, The invisible ingredient reminds us that life is not merely something we experience. It is something we help create. Through our thoughts and beliefs, we shape our reality, unlock our potential, and discover the deeper meaning of existence.